I would argue even the most successful have been women, the ones I've met actually, and that's a very small population size, obviously.
Hey, it's Walter here, and you're at the Think Profit podcast, where we're going to help you develop a rock-solid trading confidence and avoid the potentially endless cycle of system switching. Right, Hugh?
That's right. We're going to help you develop a wealth mindset, develop a trading strategy that fits your core personality, and help you overcome the obstacles that stop over 90% of traders.
All right, Hugh, sounds good. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, Walter, what do you think about men versus women in trading? Do you think that generally women are better traders from the beginning, or do you think men are, or what do you think about that?
So there's this idea in like science. I understand it from psychology, but I'm sure they have it in biology too, which is you're born with this range. You're going to be a height. Like your genes are basically going to determine pretty much the upper and lower limit. So you might be 6'3", or you might be 5'11", but you're going to be between 5'11" and 6'3", or something like that, right? Depending on your nutrition and things like that. Okay, so, and I guess, how much you stretch your spine or whatever. Like, I don't know how you get taller. Like, how much yoga you do. Yeah, so the way I kind of look at this with the women versus men sort of thing.
Hey there, I hope you're finding this episode useful. I just wanted to let you know that Walter and I give away something valuable every month that helps traders improve their skills. You can enter to win by simply leaving an iTunes review and leaving a comment on our YouTube videos. At the end of each month, we'll look at the comments and reviews from the month, and we'll pick a winner at random. Each comment and each review counts for one entry during the month that it's submitted. So if you're interested in that, be sure to enter after this podcast is over. All right, back to the episode.
On average, and I know we're talking about averages and stereotypes and all that, but
sure.
On average, men have a wider range. And here's why I say that. Because sometimes you'll find a Jesse Livermore, and you guys can look up who he is. You can go read Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. I'll put the link in the show notes for this episode. He was crazy. Okay, he took risk to the max. Actually, you could argue that George Soros is the same way. George Soros is very similar. The upper limit is when you just go hog wild. Now, Jesse Livermore also killed himself. George Soros is to be determined. Okay, so you may not want to be, Jesse Livermore, right? You may not want to go into that. So that's the other thing, is that George Soros and Jesse Livermore, they're at the upper edge because they got so wild with risk. Then you can also have the lower limit down at the bottom where there's people, same thing. They get crazy with risk. They're doing revenge trading, all this crazy stuff, and they end up blowing out. Whereas I think women have a tighter range, right? So I think women typically don't let ego step in and kind of dictate what their position size is for any given trade, right? And they typically a little bit more measured. I actually think that women in general should be running the world. Like, I actually think we would have fewer wars. There'd probably be more wisdom in terms of, you know what I mean? Like, I just think the countries would get along. That's another story. So so I think that they have a tighter range. So they're probably more likely to make money overall, but also they may not have the extreme highs and lows that you get when you get these wild cowboy guys, stepping in the markets, which is like, they're there, man. You can see them, and you can see them today. You can go on Twitter. I had no idea that Twitter was such a spot for traders, but it is. Like especially the stock traders. It's crazy. I've only really realized that in the last 6 months, but it's entertaining. It's actually entertaining to see these guys try and blow themselves up. It's crazy. Yeah.
There's actually some good opinions there too. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What do you think? I mean,
for me at least, the most consistent traders I've ever seen, and I would argue even the most successful, have been women, the ones I've met actually, and that's a very small population size, obviously. But I do know of a couple women who can make a living basically with a 5 or 10 grand account, and they'll double that up every 1 or 2 months, and then they make a living off of that, and they don't want to trade anymore. But I'm on a pure percentage, return. That's like fantastic, right? But yeah, I think they do have a little bit more of a calm head. They generally look at things more objectively, and they don't put that testosterone, I guess, in it and try to go balls to the wall or whatever. Yeah. So I think, there are fewer women trading, but I think when they do decide to trade, I think they end up usually being pretty good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, Walter.
Thanks.
All information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not trading or investment advice.